Hi guys, I'm Phil Snowden, the fat loss and performance coach. Kabow! Right, today's video is all about sleep and weight loss and how sleep affects your weight loss goals. So, we're going to start with these two hormones here, leptin and ghrelin. Now, you may have heard about these. They're getting dotted around in the industry, and particularly with science at the moment, looking at drugs that can help control these hormones. Leptin basically is the hormone that lets us know that we are satisfied and full up. Okay, ghrelin is the hormone that makes us want more food. Okay, so in studies that have been done, okay, we've found out that if you get 5 hours or less sleep a night, okay, your leptin levels will decrease, okay, and your ghrelin hormones will increase. So just by getting too little sleep, these hormones are going to adjust and play around and wreak havoc and have a massive effect on your hedonistic response as well, okay? So you're automatically going to basically want to eat more, all right? Now, in another study that was done with two control groups, okay, one group was given 8 hours sleep and the other group was given 5 or less hours sleep per night over a 4-night cycle, okay? What they found is not only did these hormones adjust, but they also consumed, bearing in mind they did the same amount of physical activity as well and were given exposure to the same amount of food at a buffet. They consumed, the guys who only had 5 hours sleep per night, 300 more calories per day, okay? So assuming that's you, okay, you're only sleeping for 5 less hours sleep a night. If we did 300 calories extra a day that we was consuming, over a year that would be over 100,000 excess calories, which actually works out at over 2 pounds of fat you would increase per week for a year. Ooh, just by not sleeping enough. What was interesting is the study was advanced a little bit more and reset, and the same groups were done, 8 hours sleep, 5 hours sleep. The food was controlled, the calories were a big part controlled, so it was only allowed to eat around 2,000 calories. But then on the last day, and physical activity was also controlled, on the last day both groups were exposed to a buffet where they could again choose whatever types of food that they wanted. So they had like loads of sweets, treats and what have you. And that was open for 4 hours. The group, the individuals were all split up, so there was like no like judgment or anything like that. They could just help themselves, and the buffet was continuously refilled as well. And what they found out is the guys who had already eaten up to 2,000 calories already, with that buffet open for an extra 4 hours, consumed an extra 330 more calories than the group that slept for 8 hours. Ooh. Furthermore to that, they chose to eat more than 30%, so between 30 and 40% more types of salty, carbohydrate-y, sugary foods compared to that of the other group, okay? And they actually consumed an extra 10 to 15% more protein and fat type foods, okay? So it's not all about just kind of going for these like fatty foods that we consider. They were going for the high starch, highly refined, sugary type carbohydrates, which we know is bad for our health and is more likely to store more body fat anyway. So the hormones that were being messed with were making us crave, or making the groups crave more carbohydrates or more starchy, crappy type foods. Now, as well as that sleep deprivation, they noticed there was an increase in another hormone known as endocannabinoid, okay? Which, yes, as the name pronounces, is very similar to that hormone that's released when people smoke marijuana or cannabis, okay? Which is basically responsible for giving us the munchies. So get this, that endocannabinoid hormone was increased, leptin, to let us know we're full, was decreased, ghrelin, the hormone to tell us we need to eat more food, was increased. We're exposed to an extra 30 to 40% more crappy carbohydrates, and we're consuming an extra 300 calories odd a day simply by sleeping for less than 5 hours per night. Okay, so again, think about how that could be having an impact on your lifestyle, on your weight loss goals. Now, sleeping for, now, What we want to bear in mind is, yes, we want to be sleeping for 8 hours a night. Okay, yes, that's been dotted around in the industry for long periods of time, but we want to know why. Well, not only will we not eat as much, but also we're going to help control our central nervous system, particularly part of it called the sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for our fight or flight. So the fight or flight response is basically our stress state to kind of get us out of danger. So we're either going to have a bit of a punch up or we're going to leg it out of there, okay? So given that with that stress state comes a hormone known as cortisol, which is directly associated with body fat stored in the abdominal region, can also have a massive impact on the stomach acid that we produce and decrease the amount of food that we can effectively digest. Cortisol also cultivates the bad bacteria in the microbiome, okay? The microbiome being the whole gut bacteria, which is effectively another immune system that we have in the gut, okay, known as the enteric system. So just by consuming or getting 8 hours sleep, a big part of the night, we can help control that sympathetic nervous state, okay, meaning that we're less stressed. We're also going to be consuming less calories, of which we're going to be consuming a lot less of the crappy carbohydrates that we know is bad for us anyway. So moral of the story, guys, aim to get 8 hours sleep per night. Okay, thank me later, keep it real.